200,000 unpaid carers. Many can access financial, practical or emotional help to fulfil their role. But when their loved one dies, that support often stops.
Well, now Marie Curie, Ryder and the think tank Reform Scotland are calling for the Scottish Government to set up a support package to help carers after a bereavement. Katie Hunter has been speaking to one woman whose husband died 6 years after he first developed symptoms of dementia.
He was a very happy person, very family man. He was big, powerful, a workaholic, brilliant dad, loved the family. He was all for family, nieces, nephews, scout leader, did lots for people in the community.
When did he start to get ill? What happened? What did you notice?
He was around about 50 years of age, just turning 50 years of age. And first thing I noticed was his personality. Something would maybe happen that he would just breeze through. And instead of going challenging, he would go and hide. And I couldn't work that out. I couldn't understand what was going on. So he'd be doing stuff in the house and I would say, "You need a double-ended screw for that." And he said, "What's a double-ended screw?" It blew my mind. So things like that were happening until one day we got up in the morning to go to work and he just burst into tears. And all this stuff came pouring out and I'd went into his van and it was covered in yellow post-its, like reminders of things that it was such a shock.
And how was it for you almost grieving while he was still alive, watching that decline?
At first you don't realise you're grieving. You don't really, you know that something's going on, but you don't put it down to grief because you're taught that grief begins the day the person dies, and that's just not the case. People would say, "Oh, he's still here. What are you crying for?" But it was horrendous, the change and the part that you lost something every single day, and you grieved for that part. The first time you have to pick up a fork and feed your young husband, that's a terrible loss to watch.
You had some support while James was alive, albeit you had to fight very hard for it. What happened after he died with regards to support?
There was none. Everything just went. Well, during the journey of dementia, there's so many people coming into your house to support you and help. There's equipment everywhere, there's appointments, there's everything going on, and all of a sudden, nothing. The equipment's going out your house within a few days. Hospital beds, hoists, everything is all gone, and there's just nobody, and you're left with all these feelings. It's a void, it's a black hole. But what happened to me then was all the pent-up feelings that I had kept inside for all the years turned to a post-traumatic stress. And for me that would have been, that's the crucial point. What I went through after was just horrific, totally horrific.
Obviously, grieving's always going to be difficult, but what would be the thing that would have helped you make it just a fraction less difficult?
Somebody that was trained in this journey to understand that first of all you're grieving while your loved one's alive. Someone that you can open up to and be absolutely honest with without anybody judging you, and just almost like wrapping their arms around you and said, "You go for it."
And that wasn't there for you?
No. You're allowed to cry.
And how are you now?
I don't think I've found who I am yet. I don't know if you ever will. But you've just got to go on and do something with your life, and what a waste that would be. But I would still like somebody to talk to if you're able to. I never want anybody to have their feelings pushed right into their stomach or locked away in their brain with a lid in it. And it's so wrong.
Well, the Scottish Government has issued a statement in response and says it recognises the incredible contribution unpaid carers make, and it's looking at the charity's proposals.